New technologies have made it so much easier to bank from our laptops, our cell phones and tablets. But with this ease of access comes the added risk of falling victim to scam schemes and scams engineered to access your hard-earned cash and information. And we're joined this morning by Kalyani Pillay, CEO of Sabric, the South African Banking Risk Information Centre, to talk to us about cyber crimes and, most importantly, how we can protect ourselves. Welcome back. I always say it's great to connect with you, but it's always under duress, because that's really the situation that we sit in at the moment. We've had such wonderful advancements in technology that have made life easier. It might protect us, for instance, banking on our cell phone from cash-related crime, but it has opened the doorway to cybercrime. How is cybercrime affecting banks in particular and that banking space?
Well, I think more particularly it affects banks and it affects bank clients.
Yeah.
But you know, to talk about how bank clients are affected, we're all using mobile devices, we're all doing our banking electronically these days. It's great and it's convenient and it gives us greater access, and that's what the banks want to do. But unfortunately, perpetrators use those very platforms to try and compromise bank customers, because at the end of the day, they're looking for money. So, we're finding that while we have the ease of all of this, with it comes a whole lot of risks. And certainly, we have to be mindful and vigilant of it all the time so that we can protect ourselves.
I think being vigilant, not paranoid, but vigilant all the time is very worthwhile. But there are some very concrete ways that we can protect ourselves. And I think particularly in Wi-Fi spots, we know that, again, Wi-Fi is another addition to that technological map that South Africa is trying to grow. We want to empower our people, but with that comes greater risk. How can we be more savvy and protect ourselves?
Well, let me say I'd rather be paranoid than not. It's just rather on that side.
Yeah.
But I think, a really important Wi-Fi. For one, we all want free Wi-Fi, right? So our advice to bank customers is that if you are using Wi-Fi connections, make sure that you're on a secure Wi-Fi connection. If you're connecting to something secure where a password is required, if you're going to be doing any transactional if you're doing something transactional, if you're buying, if you're going to be logging onto your bank account, if you're going to be putting your username, your password, PIN numbers, that kind of thing. So if you're ever going to be doing anything that's so confidential, you shouldn't do it on a platform that's just opened. That's one of the things. Things around, we have Wi-Fi in our homes. To make sure that your home Wi-Fi is absolutely secure, that you set the security settings at the highest, that you have the latest antivirus, anti-spyware, that your connections are always up there on the top. But also, I think, we have hardware devices that we use to set up our connections, our Wi-Fi connections. And there's usually a default setting, a password that's already set as a default. People forget that they need to change that. You think that you're busy and you've got a great password here, but you forget that the door's open somewhere else. So it's just about being mindful about all of these things. And also, if you're using a Wi-Fi, make sure that you, especially if it's not in a private Wi-Fi network, if it's on a public Wi-Fi network, then I think people should be really cautious. Even if you're surfing, make sure that you go watch the sites that you're going onto, because some sites actually are set up to allow or to enable malware, malicious code, to actually infect your device. So you need to be so cautious, and you need to make sure that to protect yourself against that your devices actually are secure, that you've, on your mobile and your tablet, your laptop, that you actually have all the different security settings updated.
And I'll add to that, make sure that you are changing your password regularly and get out there. Don't use birthdays, don't use your pets' names, because most of us have that there on our social media platforms to gather as is. But I think just a bit of common sense goes a long way in that space, very much so. Think of your bank account as your home. You wouldn't walk out of your house leaving the door wide open to strangers, so make sure that you protect your devices and your passwords from the prying eyes of scams as well.
Wise up, watch out.